Skull friends, as you know, I'm Odin of Nevermore Gaming, though at this point you guys seem to like these Booked episodes. I can't really call myself gaming now, can I? You know what? Feeling a little cramped up in here in this little bubble. Just one sec. Oh, isn't that much better? Honestly, guys, this episode might be a bit of a sleeper. In my opinion, Backlash this year was kind of a snoozer, but let's get into this. This is how I would book it. Bianca Belair versus Io Sky. Io Sky representing Damage Control. This is for the Raw Women's Championship. Here's how things went down. Great match all in all. It really showed Io Sky is ready to be a main event player, especially despite her being known as her name suggests to take to the sky. Io was very grounded during the match, very rarely, if at all, going to the top rope, which surprisingly made it for a really entertaining match. And despite the loss, Io Sky still looked good enough to be main event material. The match itself wasn't all that great. It was entertaining, but still felt like, in all honesty, it could have taken place on the Raw before Backlash. Here's what I would do, and in all honesty, I wouldn't change a whole lot. Right now, with the way the women's division is, and the fact that Rhea is SmackDown Women's Champion right now, we'll talk about her match later, there wasn't really a good opponent for the EST of the WWE to fight. This was a slot filler match, and there's not much I can do with that. On to the next match, we have Seth Rollins versus Omos. Another pretty good match, but it still felt like kind of a slot filler. Seth Rollins defeated Omos after hitting not one, not two, but three curb stomps on the Nigerian Giant. Omos used his size to dominate the first half of the match, but after Rollins picked up some momentum, it was over. I did, however, like the curb stomp off the top rope. That made for a really cool moment to close out the match. Once again, this is what I would do. Kind of slot filler match. It had its good moments, still made Omos look strong, especially that first half of the match. However, it still felt like a very random match, and that was just kind of thrown into the card. But at the very least, it did make Omos look good moving forward without ruining any kind of momentum that was going for Rollins, especially coming off of his win at WrestleMania against Logan Paul. Not that, Logan Paul really provides a whole lot, but get that win streak going. Next up, we have Austin Theory versus Bronson Reed versus Bobby Lashley, triple threat for the U.S. Championship. Here's how things went down. This was probably the match that surprised me the most and the one that entertained me the most. Rather short match overall, but it looked like Reed almost took the win here, which is always a positive when trying to grow talent, especially considering he hasn't really been seen all that much ever since getting rehired. Going forward, Reed could be a monster of a brick wall. Bobby Lashley's inclusion seems like a rather weird one here, but he has recently been in the US title picture, so I can't really be all that surprised. My favorite moment from this match was probably the A-Town down into the tsunami, taking out Bobby towards the end of the match. Here's what I would do. Honestly speaking, probably my favorite match of the night. I wouldn't call it the greatest match of the night, but I definitely wouldn't change much of it at all. Except this. Take the title off of Theory. Since he's going to the world title picture with the World Heavyweight Championship tournament, with him holding the US title, it's not believable that he's going to win. Even if you have no plans for him to win, give the title to someone like Bronson, who can really show off what he can do in a ring to a WWE audience, since not a lot of them are going to know about his stints as Tsunami in things like Impact Wrestling. Plus, that'll further push Bronson to a main event, or at the very least tag title scene where he could really do some damage. Put him in a match with Johnny Gargano, even, against someone like Braun Strowman and Ricochet, and let them go at it. That could be a very good match in the future. Rhea Ripley representing. Oh, hold on. Next match. Rhea Ripley representing Judgment Day versus Zelina Vega representing the Latino World Order for the SmackDown Women's Championship. What went down? This was probably the biggest sleeper match of the PLE, and a lot of people are calling it a squash match. While I agree Zelina stood no chance, say it with me, everyone. It built her up as something credible for later. I'm seeing a theme here. Zelina Vega did not do badly in this match. With everything that was against her in this match, she did great. And I did find the moment where she threw the flip-flop from the crowd at Rhea pretty funny. Adding a little bit of humor didn't kill the match, especially given Zelina's Latina heritage. What I would change here? Nothing really. Both performers looked great, just like with Belair's match. This seemed kind of like a card filler. though there is at least a little history thanks to a rivalry between the LWO and Judgment Day. Thanks, Mysterios. Main event part 1. Yes, part 1. This was a double main event pay-per-view. This is a good match, and I will always say good things about Bad Bunny, just like how I'll say good things about Logan Paul. If he really wanted to, if Bad Bunny really wanted to move forward in the WWE as a performer, kind of like what Logan Paul is doing right now, I know he puts in the work to actually treat the WWE as it is, sports entertainment, without leaning too heavily into the entertainment part of things. A couple of nasty spots, but good old B-Rabbit came out on top in the very end. Despite Judgment Day running interference in what was probably the coolest part of the pay-per-view, especially with Zelina's, I believe, stepdad. Please correct me in the comments if I have it wrong. Savio Vega coming out with the save flanked by the LWO and a returning Carlito, if anybody remembers who he is. What I would change in this, once again, hard to change anything. Both performers looked good, plus it pushed the rivalry between the LWO and Judgment Day forwards, even involving a great legend in Savio Vega and a returning Carlito. So it's cool to see one-off returns some of the bigger names or even classics from our childhood. Main event part 2. The Usos and Sikoa representing the Bloodline versus Riddle, Why, Zayn, and Owens. Sadly, no big title changes this pay-per-view, if any. We didn't even see Gunther's title defended. And in all honesty, this match was about as entertaining as the last time we talked about the Usos matches. I counted out maybe 7 super kicks used in succession, including in stereo, though it is good to see cracks really starting to show between the members of the Bloodline, especially with Sikoa nearly hitting Jimmy with the Samoan spike. No Paul Heyman at ringside this time, which I suppose is a good thing, though Riddle's inclusion here once again seems kind of random. What kind of sucked though was KO taking a really big backseat this match, only coming in for a brief time before seemingly just disappearing off the side of the apron before being taken out on screen by Sikoa. What I would change, first off, get rid of Riddle and Sikoa and turn it into its own match. There's room on the card, and give us the rematch that Backlash is actually for. Riddle's inclusion is so random in this, besides the little revenge quest for getting taken out months ago. If that even wasn't last year. Randy still isn't back, so his inclusion here as a revenge just seems random as hell. And honestly, take out Sikoa at that point, because there's no reason to have a 5-man handicap match. With that, less super kicks. At least Zayn and Owens have other moves, even throwing a 1D or something. Rant over. Conclusion. Oh my goodness. Conclusion. Not the most impressive premium live event I've seen. Definitely not one I'd watch again. Not a lot I can even do with it, and that's just so much of it seems like a seat filler. I hope you guys enjoyed today. We will be talking about Night of Champions, which takes place May 27th, which I hope to have a video out for before June hits. In all honesty, guys, I make these videos because I enjoy talking about the WWE. I enjoy talking about what happened in the premium live events, but there was not a lot of good matches here. Like I said, I enjoyed Rhea versus Zelina. Damian Priest versus Bad Bunny was a good match, but that's about it. Like, there's not a whole lot I could have even done with this pay-per-view if I was in a booking position. I'm sorry for kind of a bummer video. I mean, it's not even 10 minutes long here. Hopefully you guys will tune in next time. Like I said, Night of Champions is May 27th. I hope to get a video out that following Monday, but the way things are going right now, that may not be guaranteed. Hope you guys decide to tune in then. I have been Odin of Nevermore Gaming. Bye-bye now.